Well, Mustafizur Rahman back into the attack. That's what I wanted to see from both ends. The one that we mentioned earlier, Mehdi to come from that end, and then Mustafizur. This is a good move. This is what they need to do. Get their best bowler in and see what they can do.
Let's just lock in here for a bit. This might be a nice little battle here between the Fizz and Hashim Amla.
This is a good move. This is what they need to do. Get their best bowler in and see what they can do.
Rahman tries what he attempts to just try and find a bit of rhythm. This might be a nice little battle here between the Fizz with his release, his varied release and change of pace. It really was extraordinary when he burst on the scene in the IPL. He played superbly, made everyone sit up and take notice, but of course he's had a shoulder operation not so long ago. Good to see him fit again. Let's see if we can work out what he's trying to do on this very dull surface against Hashim Amla. That's a tough corner itself.
Yeah, he's been difficult for the batsman to pick up, especially when the pitches have started to grip. But as we've seen so far on this surface, there's nothing much happening in favor of the seamers. It's not gripping, it's not moving, nothing off the seam, nothing in the air. So it's important to just maintain a good line and length. He's bowled well. He's bowled a couple of dot deliveries to Hashim Amla.
Oh, it's a beautiful shot. That is a superb shot from Hashim Amla. I think we've seen that a lot throughout his entire career, but it always delights.
Fuller pitched it up. And what a gorgeous looking shot this is from Hashim Amla. Gets into really good position. Oh, wow. Tried to bowl the cutter. Or perhaps just grazing the top part of the pad, but beautifully bowled. Beautifully disguised delivery from Mustafizur Rahman.
Hey guys, কেমন আছেন সবাই? আমি Swapnil 60 আর আজকে for the very first time আমি এমন একটা ভিডিও বানাতে যাচ্ছি যেটা
Yeah, that was very clever. Very clever delivery indeed. Goes past the outside edge of the bat. Hits the pad. The back pad. Certainly was a bit of a shout for caught behind, but that wasn't the case. There's the wicketkeeper. Litton Dus is the one that went up pretty strongly. Let's have a look and see where that pad is in relation to the line here for potential OBW. Is it pitch in line for starters? Might be just outside. We'll have to get Hawkeye involved there, I think. Have a bit of a look. Certainly thought about going upstairs to the skipper. Must have over him, but decided against it. Let's have a look. Is again, does that pitch in line? Might be. We'll have to get the LBW mat on that. So the focus on whether it pitched on line without the LBW mat. Also, of course, need to look at the other end and see where that pad was in relation to the stumps. Let's have a look. So we've got the mat in place. Let's see, is it outside? Yes, it is. So there's no dramas there. And no dramas at the other end either. Good judgment by the captain. Now that's kept low. That's going to be a dangerous shot to play as this game goes on. Those bottom edges for off spinners can often get chopped onto the stump. End of the over, 215 for 1. The weather at this time of the year in Potchefstroom is quite interesting. It's very cold in the mornings. You wake up, a couple of days ago it was 2 degrees Celsius. And then in the afternoon it got up to like 28 degrees Celsius. Today wasn't quite that cold this morning. It was still quite chilly. But right now, what have we got? 20 past 3 local time. It's about 28 degrees Celsius. So it's a beautiful day now. Blue sky country. Plenty of blue sky and refreshments around the place, which is always good to see. Mustafa Rahman continues. Let's just skip in now and just check out what the weather is going to tell us over the next couple of days here in Potchefstroom. Well, it's gone past that 23, it's gone to 28 already today, so it's a little bit warmer. Oh, high of 26. So a high of 27 tomorrow. There's a bit of rain, possible rain around Sunday, and also Monday, but that generally means late thunderstorms in the afternoon. That generally means that, so we shouldn't get too much interference with the cricket. It's good bowling, nice work.
Yeah, it has been a good spell from Mustafizur Rahman. He got past the batter of Hashim Amla in the previous over, and once again he's looked to bowl in a good line, good area. That's what's important for a bowler. He's got a few spells here. This is the 5th spell in only the 2nd over. Started with 5 overs in his first spell where he bowled a maiden. It's the wicket columns. So what has been a problem for Bangladesh. But if you keep maintaining the discipline, I'm sure he will be rewarded. South Africa 215 for 1. They would want to bat only once in this test match. As we see what Mustafiz is doing, to release his points that he's capable of.
He certainly got a few tricks, the Fez. That's what he was known for when he burst onto the scene. Oops, he's going to have to bowl that one again though. And that's the challenge, of course, facing him when he's at his best, when he's got his rhythm back, when he's totally fit. He will bowl the standard left arm deliveries. He won't be quick. He'll be 130, maybe 135, I guess. That's where he should be. But you know that something different is going to come at some stage. Not that different though.
Yeah, he'll be a much difficult customer on surface, which is a little bit in favour of the seamers. On a flat track like this, it's much easier for the batters to just play down the line and ensure that nothing much is happening. Just going back to South Africa, 216 for 1, I just mentioned a little while earlier, probably they were thinking that if they can bat only once, get as many runs as possible, and then see what Bangladesh does in the first inning and obviously the second innings. So loads of time available for South Africa to go into that direction.
But the track will be tough for them. It won't help them. They'll have to get reverse going, which KG Rabada can do. Also, Olivier is very good with reverse swing, so he's another one who'll come into play with that skill. End of the over, 216 for 1. But what concerns me is the way that they've won the toss and fielded, and we don't want to go on too much about it. not only has it put themselves on the back foot, but they're chasing leather, it's incentivised these guys, the South Africans, because they realise they don't want to face them on this sort of surface. That can be my only explanation. It's been a big day for that man, Adam Markram. Saw him quite emotional earlier today, the anthems, and then he just played absolutely beautifully until he had to trudge back to that change room.
He certainly deserved 100 on debut, but they definitely showed sign that South Africa has found someone who can bat with Dean Elgar right at the top of the order as an opening partner, because they've not been able to score runs. The opening stand has not been fruitful for South Africa. Well, this should certainly stand them in good stead, especially this pair of Dean Elgar and Markram.
Yeah, it's been a problem, and it's an unusual problem for a side that's been so successful, but maybe they've found a solution. Looks like he's going to try a few things. That's a lovely paddle. It's a shot that was really introduced actually during World Series cricket time. The paddle where you hit it about 45, you don't sweep it, you hit it back past the keeper. The general thought during World Series time was that there were so many good, fast, quick bowlers around the place. As soon as the spinner came in, you had to try and do whatever you could to score runs off him, because those quicks and World Series were giving nothing away. So a lot of the batsmen in World Series cricket used to spend hours and hours and hours just practicing that particular shot so they could capitalise against spin. It's a clever shot because there's plenty of runs in that region.
Yeah, because you don't usually have that fielder posted in that direction, and once you get the ball going in that direction, there runs all the time. He picked up 3 on that occasion.
A little bit of turn. He's done a good job, Mahidi Hassan. So that's over number 63 gone, 219 for 1 now. Now if you're just joining us, the highlight of the day I think has been this youngster, Adam Markram. Just sit back and enjoy some of these shots on debut, because I think you're going to see a lot of this guy in the years to come. I think rarely does a debutant play that well. His very first outing.
Yeah, it's good sign, very good sign for South Africa to have someone like Markram to come on and open the batting. That's nicely played. Played with soft hands. He's guided it through the slip score, and there'll be a boundary. Intentions were clear to play very late in the end, and then getting through the gap.
That's a nightmare for a seamer on a slow track against this sort of quality batting. Just have a look. There's no pace in the ball. It's a cutter again. Look at him just open that blade. Beautifully controlled. So much time, Hashim Amla. It's nicely fielded that time.
Well, certainly Mustafizur Rahman is trying something different here. You saw him bowling the cutters, and also in the service bowled a few cutters here. So he's thinking to bowl differently and perhaps just force the batsman to make a mistake. Such a good batting wicket, but if he gets it right, he might just get himself get a little bit lucky and perhaps pick up a wicket here. Just too wide on that occasion. Not to bowl well the first couple of deliveries. Yeah, one went through the slips corner for a boundary, but that's what Bangladesh needs from Mustafiz, to ensure that he creates a bit of a pressure. He does bring something different into the attack, going round the wicket.
Still got quite a few overs left in the day's play. After this is going to be 26 overs to complete the 90. And I think from around about here on is going to be the real challenge for them, because I think Bangladesh have done a pretty tidy job. I think the seamers have stuck at things. I think the spinners have been pretty tidy. I don't think there's been too many horrible misfields, maybe one or two that have been a little bit sloppy. So the concentration has been good. The fact that the run rate is just at 3.5 hasn't got out of control, which can often happen in these sort of situations. And the 200 on the board and only one down. I guess the track is not one of those tracks where you can play shots all the time. When the ball's nice and hard, it's okay to do that earlier in the day, but now it's a bit more challenging. They've got to make sure they keep it tight for the rest of the day, because this is where it can go horribly wrong, and then the game is away.
Yeah, good point, Mike Hazen, because it was not easy for them to start with, but then realizing the fact that pitch has got nothing much to offer, that they changed the line and length and ensured that they're not giving them too many boundaries. It just releases the pressure if the batsmen keep on picking up boundaries at regular intervals.
Yeah, if those loose balls are not there, then the batsman's got to try and make something happen. It's good stuff from the Fez. 64 overs gone, 224 for one. He's still there, Dean Elgar, 107 not out. He's got the most first-class runs in 2017 now. Before today, had 1,635 runs at 44, so you can add 107 to that. He's still there, his partner's not, and that's the disappointment, I think, for Dean as well. In the commentary box now for the next half hour or so, Pommy Mbangwa and Robbie Peterson.
Thanks, Hazy. Been a long day for the Bangladeshis. Still toiling away. It's been a good innings from Dean Elgar. South Africans have become accustomed to him being the rock at the top of the order. It's been very consistent in the last 12 months. And he deserves his 100 today. And you get a sense he's not done yet.
And they'll hope, Robin, that the other side is sorted out as well. One swallow doesn't make a summer, that's true. But he did look good at the other end, his partner. I must admit that I thought that Cook was going to be the answer when he turned up and he got 100 on debut. top shot. Really good use of the feet.